In the test patch 5.03, Riot foreshadows a massive chamber nerf, a punishing nerf to Jett's ult, a nerf buff moment for Neon, and some UI changes. How do the nerfs work and will Chamber still be picked? Let's get straight to it. Every single ability of Chamber got nerfed. Let's start with Teleport. The base cooldown, so the cooldown between teleports, got increased from 20 seconds to 30 seconds. Same with when you recall your teleport towers. They are increased from 20 to 30. But his teleport got another nerf. Now, when you destroy Chamber's teleport, he gets a 45 seconds cooldown before he can deploy them again, effectively rendering him teleportless if you destroy his tower in a push. And his teleport got another nerf. The radius around your teleported tower that you can teleport from got reduced from 21 meters wide to 15 meters. Which basically means that you have to get closer to the towers if you want to teleport away. The second ability that got nerfed is his trap, though it's a simple one. The slow duration, so the time this lingering field is on the ground, has been shortened from 9.5 seconds to 6 seconds. This nerf to him is probably the simplest nerf he got, but hopefully effective enough to make Chamber more balanced. His pocket sniper got a surprisingly simple but extremely impactful nerf. The individual shots now cost 150 whatever Valorant's currency is instead of 100. This means my shield versus pistol video is now outdated, and that in pistol rounds the max numbers of bullets he can buy is 5. This is a really impactful nerf which might just turn some confused Sheriff Jett mains back to their original agent. Last but definitely not least, his ultimate got 3 nerfs. First of all, just like the trap, is the slow duration around the kill reduced to 6 seconds. The max amount of orbs needed to use his ultimate got upped by 1, so now you have to get 8 points instead of 7. The third nerf to him is kinda unintentionally made, but I think it will come a long way in terms of balancing his ultimate. Riot added a breakup of damage zones across all abilities, meaning abilities that shoot, like our boy Chamber's ult, will now do reduced damage in the legs. Leg shots now get a 0.85 damage multiplier. There's a couple issues, or rather gimmicks, I found with this change. For starters, with his ultimate, in the legs the gun still does more damage than the default operator. Why not make it the same? It's only 7 damage points different. Speaking of those 7 damage points, it should actually be 8. If you multiply 0.85, the new damage multiplier, times 150, you get 127.5. Valorant doesn't do decimals, so it has to be rounded up or down. In the laws of math, a 0.5 decimal should always be rounded up. So the ult should actually do 128 damage per shot instead of 127, the number they rounded down to. You silly Riot. Before we take a look at the other agents affected by the regional damage breakup, I haven't forgotten about the Chamber pistol to see how the new damage multiplier adds to that. Turns out his pistol already had this multiplier. These numbers actually line up with the Sheriff, making the weapons semi-identical. However, just like with his ultimate, if we follow the 0.85 multiplier rule, Chamber's pocket sniper should do 47 damage, as 55 times 0.85 makes 46.75, which is definitely a case of rounding up. The other 2 agents affected by this nerf are Jett and Neon. Jett's nerf though is a lot simpler. The knives now deal a 0.58 multiplier less damage in the legs. Sounds simple, right? I mean, even the patch notes wrote this down as a singular line, but this is actually a pretty big deal for the less accurate Jett mains. If you would hit a leg shot on an unarmored opponent, it now takes 1 more knife to kill, as you do 42 damage per knife. And against full armored opponents, it now takes 4 knives to kill if you do not hit all body shots. By Riot reducing the leg shots, you basically have to hit your body and headshots, otherwise you might as well just play a Vandal. It is already quite difficult for lower ranked players to consistently track opponents due to just being able to run and gun knife with her ultimate. And by Riot making it that you have to track her for longer if you hit 1 leg shot due to the additional knife needed, heightens her skill ceiling by so much. And if you think you could just right click, even that got nerfed by reducing leg damage as you throw all your knives in a shotgun pattern, which means you are bound to hit someone in the leg for 142 damage. The change to Neon is pretty interesting and actually got a nerf and a buff for those who can track consistently. The biggest nerf is that the damage per shot is reduced from 22 to 18 damage. Body shots now do less damage than before. However, due to some careful tweaking by Riot and a new change to the damage drop-off for Neon, you will, just like in the previous patch, never fall below 10 damage per tick on the body. So even though the base damage got reduced, it's still the same low 10 damage from far away. Damage will now drop off starting from 20 meters instead of 15, making her damage output better on longer ranges, or at least that's what I thought. This new damage drop-off point is actually made to align the new damage values with the old damage drop-off. So sadly, that doesn't mean that she's suddenly super viable on longer ranges. The damage is exactly the same. The third nerf to Neon is that lag shots do even less damage because the regional damage multiplier is also applied for Neon now. I'm not sure how to feel about this. The difference between Neon and Jett's and Chamber's ult is that Neon's ult has damage drop-off, which makes this change for Neon the biggest nerf of all of them. On long range, you will now do a measly 8 damage in the lags per tick, making it, if I'm not mistaken, the lowest damage you can do without playing a shotgun or wall penetrating. But the upcoming regional damage multiplier also makes changes to the headshots, which Jett and Chamber already had. You now have a 3 times multiplier for headshots with Neon. If you are a tracking demon, you can do 54 damage per hit on the head, melting agents like a lost ice cream in the Sahara Desert. Oh, and best of all, you now get a satisfying ding for hitting headshots. Though I must say, it's a bit too loud if you consistently hit them. The final change I noticed in the PBE servers is that the agent tab got a new makeover. Every agent has their own background with a fitting color and their name reflected by their abilities. Breach has his name broken, Reyna has an eye, and Jett in wind gushing Korean. We also no longer have a 3D render of the agents, but instead a stylized portrait, which I'm personally really digging. What I don't like though is the transitioning between agents. In my opinion, it's a bit too excessive and should be toned down. But hey, personal preferences, am I right? What do you guys think about the changes to Chamber? Will he still be OP? How about Jett and Neon? I think the changes are good for Chamber, but a bit too punishing for Jett and Neon. Check out the previous patch video here, and make sure to subscribe for more. Take care now.